you found yourself in that situation, or maybe a teammate where you witnessed that?
Never. I've never seen anybody get pushed, get shoved, get kicked. No one ever thought about approaching someone. You know, there's been some heated arguments between players and coaches. I've had a coach my first couple of years in Houston that was never shy with his word. He's never held any punches. He would really make you question yourself. Yeah. But people responded to it. You know what I'm saying? I responded to it. I responded to the harsh criticism, but never had anyone that came close to putting their hands on me.
Let me ask you this, Duane. If that's your son, okay, you're a newlywed. You still got years and years before you start dealing with Pee Wee coaches and high school coaches all the way up to hopefully the pros. But if that's your kid, and your kid was scared to say something to you, and was enjoying the college life aside from the way his coach was treating him, what's your reaction now? How do you respond to that? Where's your next move as a parent?
It's tough to say, man. I'm very, very upset. But a part of me feels like it had to be at least one player, because it happened to multiple players. I thought it had to be at least one player that would step up and say something to him or shove him back. It's not right for that to happen. But if any kind of player was to be penalized to be, if it was brought up that he pushed the coach, then you would see this shit came up a long time ago. You know what I mean? If someone had pushed him back and they say, oh well, the player pushed the coach, and they would wonder why.
Gone. You're gone.
But at the same time, why did that happen? And then they would have had to bring up video. I'm sure other players would have, co-signed for him saying that this happened. This is why he did it. And then it could have got rid of this problem a long time ago.
Let me ask this question. I've had scenarios when I was playing ball where I did something stupid on the field, and the coach, called me up to the sideline, grabbed me by the shoulder pads, slapped me on the helmet, and grabbed my face mask and talked some real talk to me. But where's the line? I was okay with that. I knew I was out of line. Cost the team 15 yards. I'm sure you've had something similar to that. But when things like this happen, we start having to draw parameters. When things get polarized, before the country the way this has been. So where do we draw the line at? And is that line different for NFL players as it would be for collegiate players?
I don't think it should be. I think, in the NFL you got guys that are in their mid-30s, so some coaches wouldn't dare to even think to try something like that. But at the same time, like I said, those are young guys in college. You got some guys out there in their early 20s, their late teens, and you just can't put your hands on them. And there's certain words that he said to them, things that he called them, that you can't do. You can't do that.
That was my very next point, is now you got gay rights groups coming out, activists coming out, because of what he was repeatedly screaming at these kids, on top of the physical abuse. Does this man deserve another shot? Does this man deserve another position as a leader, as a natural leader of young men, as you mentioned, who are teenagers in early 20s?
I don't think so, man. I don't think so, because like I said, that's not coaching. A job as a coach is to guide his players, to teach them the game, whatever game that may be, critique them, but give them productive criticism, stuff that will make them better. You know what I'm saying? You pushing them, throwing the ball at them, calling them names like that, question their manhood, that's not gonna make nobody better. And it's not gonna do anything for a young man, trying to grow as a man and as a player in his sport.
Let me ask you this, Duane. When we start talking about taking away people's livelihood, I think we cross into a different realm. NFL players, I've got some buddies that been through some things. Now they retired now, so it really doesn't matter. But you think about some of the folks that we know that were, more high profile with some of their problems. Guys like Pac-Man. Who was it that had the DWI situation where vehicular homicide?
Dante
Stallworth. And guys get to come back and make money again in the league. So if you think about it in those terms, is it a situation where maybe he doesn't keep this job and he has to maybe go away for some period of time where he can kind of be rehabilitated with anger management, things like that, and then maybe come back and coach at a lower level and try to work some, regain some equity within the college landscape? I just think when when we don't allow people to make a living, I think, and I know what you think. Well, he can go do something else for a living. You've been a football player forever. What,
I know what you mean. That's a good point. That's a good point. You know, incidents in professional sports, athletes, if it's a one-time thing, some of that stuff you can't a mistake. And like you said, some players are repeat offenders. That could be something that.
Sorry about that.
That could be a.
Janky mic cord.
That could be something that could help him out. You know, going away from the sport for a while, really realizing what he took for granted and what he did wrong, and being able to have another shot at it. Because I mean, yeah, you're right. You study the sport of basketball for so long, that becomes your life, and you really don't have the urge or really want to do anything else. So you know, that could be a good thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, let's keep it in NCAA before we have to get to a break, and talk a little bit about Auburn, because I think everybody in agreement is in agreement as far as this Rice Cat goes. Get out, you're gone. You know, you're going to have to really show that you can improve. We've seen athletes come back from it and do the same thing, but he's going to have to really show that he can even be around kids, because he has abused kids. Now, it might not be sexually, you know, as the stigma goes, but he's still abusing kids. So I think it's going to be a long time before we hear from Mr. Rice again. But let's keep it NCAA and talk a little bit about Auburn and some of the problems that we're seeing now. And I think, you know what, the saying goes, it looks like a skunk, it smells like a skunk, it's got to stink. And that 2010 national championship was very stinky from the beginning. And it was only a matter of time. I think we joked about what would live longer, the tree or the trophy. You know, the tree that got poisoned in spite of Auburn winning the national championship, and now it's all coming to light that it was massive. It wasn't one or two guys, it was grades, it was money, it was, hey, come back for your senior year. We'll take care of you, just come back, don't go into the draft. Duane, where do you go as a program now, just 3 years removed from a national championship?
It's tough, man, you know, and I don't know, you know, but I was in a program, Virginia Tech. I couldn't fathom some of the stuff that I hear that went on at other universities. You know, we got none of that kind of treatment, you know what I'm saying? And it's tough, you know, and I'm not sure how they can bounce back from that. I'm not sure how they can gain the trust of the NCAA, gain the trust of, you know, up-and-coming recruits, their families, and, you know, you put your child in this situation and, you know, all this stuff comes back, you know, so I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure what they're going to do.
Does it surprise you? I guess that's the real question.
Not really. And, you know, I mean, I've been saying for a long time, you know, they need to start paying college athletes, man. They have to.
I'm glad to hear a professional athlete say that. So you are of the belief that it's time to start paying college athletes. And let me take it a step further and ask you this. This is not Little League football where your mama pays and you get to play no matter how bad you are. Once you get out of high school, you get on, especially on the college level. Not only do I believe it's time to start paying college football players and college basketball players, certainly football players, and it may be different per school. If you're more of a basketball school, and that's what drives your revenue. If you Kansas football isn't probably driving your revenue. But I don't necessarily think that you need to worry about overthinking this. I'm not paying volleyball players. There's no need to even talk about that. This is the real world. We're talking about the economy of a university. And if you're going to pay, you're going to pay the program, pay the people in the programs that make the program work. And I'm not talking about every student getting the same amount of money either. Why would you pay a blue chip recruit the same thing that you pay a kid that was a walk-on? You know, so not only is it time to start figuring out paying these kids, not everybody should get paid, and not every university has to be a university that follows that template. If you feel like you don't want to pay players at your university, don't. It doesn't mean that LSU, if they decide to pay, are going to get all the kids, because they can only take so many kids on a roster. But this is working for one group of folks right now, the folks that run the NCAA. And you got students that are of age to earn money, but the university is making all the money. And don't tell me this thing about, well, you know, you're getting a free education. Yeah, but you're also recruiting kids who wouldn't be able to meet the criteria, a lot of them, to go to your university, really wouldn't even care about going to your university if they were not athletes. Let's be honest about that. Stop sugarcoating America's dirtiest little secret and everybody that's not really a secret. My brother played for Texas Tech. I don't recall one single phone call ever of my little brother calling home for money. And when he drove home in different cars. And if anything, he bought lunch. So it is what it is. You know? We ain't at Raging Cajun.
There you go. There you go.
And Timmy Chan's. But, no doubt. But I know I said a lot. I'll shut up and let you say what you got to say about it.
No, I mean, like you had a great point. You know, a lot of the kids coming into college, they're not the best students. You know, and
they're not students.
Not students. You come to college and you look at how many universities are built around their sports programs. How much of the campus is upgraded because of the money that the football team, basketball team brought in. You look at how much these coaches are getting paid from year to year. Someone getting paid $1 million, $2 million a year. And the athletes aren't able to get jobs. They're not allowed to get jobs. But you have to come to school year round. You have to be there for spring ball. You have to be there for summer workouts. You don't have any opportunities for making other income. You know, and some guys get Pell Grant based on their parents' income, whatever. And you also have to pay rent. If you live off campus, you got to pay rent. You got to pay bills. You got to have some kind of social life. You know, so there was plenty of times where I had to call home. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's
I had to call home plenty of times.
No, that's right.
Terrible position to be in.
I want to tell a story, and I want you to help me out. All right?
Why don't you take us a break with the story?
All right. We'll do it when we come back.
Yeah. Why don't you give him a little tease?
All right.
We got to talk NFL. We got Duane.
This is going to take us
in
there.
The building.
So I'll tell you what. Houston, Texas, Duane Brown in the house. Sports Rap Live. It's the Cut. I'm Craig Sheldon. Adam Rapp with 2 P's. We're going to run to a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk some NFL. We're going to talk Texans. And I'm going to tell you a little story with Duane Brown and get him to help me out with it. I think you guys will appreciate it. It's Sports Rap Live in the Cut right here.
Stick around. Welcome back to Sports Rap Live and the Cut here at Raging Cajun Westheimer in Southwest Houston.
Yes, sir.
Like we do each and every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. And before I formally introduce him for this NFL segment, his jersey's hanging right here on the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, at the Raging Cajun Oyster Bar, put your hands together for Texans All Pro lineman himself, and always living that diamond life. We love to see it. Number 76, Duane Brown. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. It is a treat to finally have you on the show, Duane. I know we've been missing each other now for a while. You're friends with the executive producer himself, Bun B. You're down with that Trill movement and the Diamond Lifers.
It's a little odd seeing Duane line up on the right side of the line.
That is. That's right. But you know what? That means you're the center. I can handle left side.
Hey man, Chris Miles like you're doing on
my
days with the pocketbook. I don't mind being Chris Miles for a day. I'm bald headed. I'm halfway there.
There you go. Well, hey, right off the bat, before we get down to business and talking about this man's business, aside from taking care of your family, Duane, I know you and your beautiful wife, Mrs. Dev Brown, did some traveling. Tell us about what you guys did. You got out of Houston for a while, saw the world from what it looked like, and how important is that time to get away from everything after a long, hard NFL season?
It's very important, man. You know, season is 6-7 months and you don't get to do anything. You know, so when you get away from the sport, you got to get away from it completely. You know, so we got to go to Spain and Italy for 2.5 weeks. You know, got to see a lot of great sights, eat some great food. You know, experience a different culture, and you know, but now it's back to the grind.
Well, speaking of the grind, while you were off jet setting, the Texans made some moves. I think You want to tell a story first? All right. Craig wants to tell you a story before we get down to business. We're talking about this man's job here, and you want to tell stories?
Trust me, the story is going to tie in to where we are today, from where we came from with Duane Brown to where we are today. And I'm not going to tell the story by myself. He's going to help me out. Now, Duane, tell everybody where you played college football in case they don't know.
Played at Virginia Tech.
And when you were recruited to play at Virginia Tech, initially you came in, you played what position?
Tight end.
That is probably part of the reason why you see the great footwork. We saw the maturation process from the footwork to what he does great with his hands. And what I noticed this year is people rarely share blocks with you. You're driving folks way downfield. We'll talk a little more X and O stuff later. But at some point, you got moved to left tackle. So think about this, guys. You come out of high school, you're a tight end, they tell you they want you to move to left tackle. So you move to left tackle, and then your first game, they ask you to block who?
Mario Williams. Man.
So tell me a little bit about that first matchup with Mario in college, man.
Well, when I moved to tackle, I was about 270 when they moved me, you know, so I was a big tight end, and I was a kind of lean tackle. So, we go up there and you see Mario on film, he's a pretty big dude.
Yeah, impressive.
Man, we broke the huddle. I walked to the line. I'm about 6'5", he's 6'7", 290. So I'm like, all right, we've been in for a long day. Luckily, I had Marcus Vick at quarterback at the time. So he beat me a few times, but couldn't quite make the play. I had a mobile quarterback back there, but I held my own, man. I held my own, and that's what helped me take off.
How tall is Marcus Vick?
About 6 feet.
I always thought that Marcus Vick was a better pure quarterback than Michael Vick. Pure quarterback. Am I correct?
Yeah, at the college level, because he had a better arm.
Yeah, no doubt. I thought he was a better pure quarterback. All right, we're jumping to some Texans, Adam.
I'm ready, man, because September can't come fast enough. I don't know what to do with myself on Sundays. We're going to have NBA playoffs coming up real soon. You an NBA fan? Before we get it? Yeah, I figured you followed the NBA pretty closely. All right, we talked about some of the moves that the Texans made. Let's get right into it, as Houston's kind of becoming known as City of the Beard. It was all started off by Bun B, of course. For years and years and years, we've seen the OG rocking that beard, close, tight beard. Kind of like our friend Duane Brown. And then we had Fear the Beard. We saw Daryl Morey make a big move before this Rocket season that's paying off for them as we speak, as they're making their playoff push this year. But now, the Texans have their own beard, and that is Ed Reed. Your thoughts right off the bat when you heard the news, and where were you traveling the world when you caught news that Ed Reed was going to become the new safety for that defense?
I was very excited. I can't remember where I was. I wasn't in town. I just got out of town, but I played against him for a few years now. The first ballot Hall of Famer. When he's done, he'll be considered as one of, if not the best safety ever played a game. Someone you really have to account for, play in and play out. And I'm excited to what his experience, playmaking ability, everything that he'll bring to this team.
Duane, I want to ask a few questions that we hear commonly thrown around on the local sports talk stations and on Twitter and things like that, where we all spend quite a bit of time at. Last year with the running game, well, I'll say me personally, I expected to see the team go through a process until you got that continuity when you replacing 40% of the offensive line, and then the projected starters ending up not being the guys that were going to carry the team through the season. Ended up platooning at right guard for the most of the season and platooning at right tackle. Not an ideal circumstance for any team, no matter how good of a team you are. And obviously the Texans were a good football team, able to manage to a 12-4 schedule. 12-4 season. And I say manage because you manage a season. I heard a lot of the criticism early in the year that they weren't using Andre Johnson enough, and Dre had lost this and Dre had lost that. And I was like, whoa, slow down a little bit. Let's see what Kubiak's up to. Let him manage things, see how it works out. But with that running game, What are your expectations going into? We won't talk, get wrapped up on last season, but Newton's got a year under his belt. Ben Jones, all those guys got some playing time this year. They got in there in the trenches, got some playoff football. Talk about what the expectations are for those young guys maturing and relative to how you did it from year 1 to year 2. And do we overvalue the talk about the continuity necessary for this type of blocking scheme to be successful?
No, not at all. It's very, very important. The zone scheme is all about chemistry, all about continuity, all about being in sync with each other and with the running backs. And I think individually the young guys are really going to pick it up this year. I've got a chance to talk to all of them this offseason and told them what I expect of them, we expect of them as a team. And, we're on the same page. Those guys have got a lot of talent and a lot of potential. It's just about going out and doing it. They all got thrown in the fire, which is tough as a young player. I got the same thing happen to me. And they'll all respond. I think Derek Newton, Brandon Brooks, Ben Jones all have a lot of potential, going into the season. And I think we'll have to get a definite guy at each spot, to go to the season, because that means a lot.
No problem.
Duane, if you were asked to be in the war room for the Texans for the upcoming draft later this month, where your input would make an immediate difference on this team, knowing that you guys are knocking on that Super Bowl door, what advice would you throw out there? Where would you like to see the team go? I know this is one of those.
Just a position.
Hey, it's just amongst friends.
Yeah, shaky ground.
Just amongst friends.
Go offense. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna name a position. Go offense. I'm an offensive guy. I want to see offense.
You heard it right here, folks. Duane Brown says right tackle. You heard it right here.
Oh man.
Never throw my boys on the butt.
Absolutely not.
So you talk about that leadership role. Is that something that Rick Dillison and Gary Kubiak have asked you to do? Is just sort of a natural maturation process for you to take on that role?
I think it's been pretty natural. Even though I'm going into my 6th year as a player, I'm a veteran on the team and considered one of the older players on the team because we got so many young guys. And I think it's just I'm pretty vocal at times. I play with a lot of intensity, a lot of passion for the game. I work hard. So a lot of people kind of gravitate towards me when I have something to say or gravitate towards my approach to the game. So it's just been kind of natural.
Well, J.J. Watt, news comes out today that he was playing banged up. And really, what NFL player is not playing banged up? I get it, but to do what he did, even if that elbow was bothered, the elbow is a major joint for a defensive lineman to not be 100%. And, whether it's a knee or an elbow, that could really make life difficult. Your thoughts on J.J. Watt, the season that he had, and knowing that, did you know that at the time?
Well, when he got injured during training camp, it was a pretty nasty looking injury. And I thought he might have been done for the year. I didn't know how bad it was. I didn't know. I'm not a doctor, so I had no idea. But the way it looked, I thought maybe, he's done. And he came back and had a historical season, and I can't say enough about him. That guy played his tail off. He works his tail off. He's going into year 3, and
wow,
all eyes are going to be on him as the top defensive player in the league. And that says a lot. And, like I said, he's not complacent. Right? So he gets healthy. He comes out there healthy, man. And you can only imagine what's going to happen.
Watch out.
When you think in terms of what the Texans have on both sides of the football, and let's talk about, I'm talking about elite athletes, guys that are arguably, at minimum, considered to be in the top 5 at their position in the league, with Andre, yourself, and Arian. And then you look on the defensive side of the ball with J.J. Watt, a healthy Brian Cushing, and a Hall of Fame guy like Ed Reed now joining the team now. I'm a fan of the Ed Reed consolation signing because I was a huge Glover Quinn guy because I like what Glover gives you and what he can do for you all over the field, in the box, and everything associated. But who can't be happy about getting Ed Reed if you lose Glover Quinn? But when you think about the type of players you guys have, and then you think about the second tier guys, Antonio Smith, I guess you'll throw Matt Sharp in that area. Just talk about what it's like to go from being on a roster that was made up with the level of players it was when you first came to the Texans, and even though we complain and we have all our complaints as fans, but you guys know you got a pretty healthy roster of elite athletes at their positions on this team. I have to mention Chris Myers in that as well. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think, you know, we had a lot of talent my first couple of years on the team. It was just, we had a different mentality. You know, we weren't used to winning, and we didn't quite know what it took to win. You know, and I think as the years went on, you know, we got a lot of leaders onto the team. We got guys that really bought into Coach Kubiak's philosophy and, you know, Wade Phillips' philosophy. You know, we just took off, you know, and I think, like I said, we've had a lot of talent for a long time, but now that we've had so much success as a team, people are starting to look at individuals on the team saying, oh, he's been playing pretty well, he's been playing pretty well. And we just put it together. You know, we put it together the past couple of years, and just trying to make sure we can keep doing it.
When do you guys get a chance, and I'm glad you went there, because you talk about we had the talent, but we hadn't learned how to win yet. You know, NFL locker rooms are so segregated in regard to positions. You know, the linemen go through drills together, the DBs go through drills together, and so on and so on. And one area of the team may be more progressive than another, and in other, you know, the offensive line may have it together. The defensive backs, young corners, may be 2 years away. How does that work? At what point for the Texans during your tenure did you go, you know what, we there? I mean, what happened? What was that benchmark moment? Did somebody give a speech? Did you guys have a disappointing moment and you had to ride through it together? I mean, what was it?
I mean, I can go back to the 1 year where it just seemed like nothing could go right for us. I can't remember exactly what year it was.
Chris Brown. Sorry.
We lost like
I was thinking Rosencopter, but no.
We lost like 4 or 5 games.
You see that reaction? Watch this. Rosencopter.
Stop it. He's got bear paws.
We lost like 4 or 5 games within the last minute and a half of each game. You know, like I said, we always found ways to lose. And I think the last couple of years, everyone just held themselves accountable. You know, everyone knew they had a job to do, and you couldn't worry so much. I think before we got worried so much about one side of the ball doing something or one position, one group doing something. I wish they would do their job. We're doing our job, but I wish they would do their job. And everyone got rid of that. You know, you got to be accountable for yourself, for the job you have to do, and that's all you can worry about. And I think, you know, as people start to do that, you saw both sides of the ball take off, and we just kind of fed off each other. You know, the defense goes out there and gets an interception. As an offense, you want to reward them by getting a touchdown, you know, and vice versa.
All right, so what's on the agenda from now until minicamp starts? Obviously, you got the draft coming up later this month, but for you and the missus, what are you guys going to do? Are you guys going to do some more traveling? You just going to hang out? What's going on?
I'm working, man. I'm back in. Yeah,
working.
We had some traveling, man. We've done a lot. You know, we went to Europe. We've been to South by Southwest in Austin. You know, been to LA. I'm back to the grind now, and just getting my mind right.
All right, well, I tell you what, get you a nice, healthy chicken breast. We've got some Cajun spices. We got great mashed potatoes, sauteed veggies. Get you a big plate. Rub it down here with us. But last, but not certainly least, I've noticed, much like myself, you live that diamond life. Every time I see you out, you're rocking the latest from Diamond Supply Co. So it's only fitting that I present you the exclusive Bun B Diamond Supply 3X just for Mr. Brown.
Oh, man.
I had to make sure you and the missus, I got a sweater for Debbie Deb.
You can wear 3X, bro?
Yeah, watch this. Watch this. So, hey, thanks for joining us tonight, Duane. Appreciate it.
So much. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 76 for your Houston Texans. Make some noise if you're a Texans fan. Tell them where to follow you, Duane. Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff.
Duane Brown 76. Follow me. Pretty entertaining.
And if not, you can see it's right here on the wall. Duane Brown, number 76. All right, D. Hey, we'll keep up with you over the summer and come back and join us before the season starts, huh?
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Good luck, man.
Beautiful.
Good season.
All right, guys. Hey, we got to take a break.
That, huh?
Right off the jump.
Yeah, that's good.
Right off the jump.
That.
We still got MK Bauer.
But I'm just gonna let y'all know, I think I could get around Duane on that cone if I just had to, man.
Oh, here we
got that
go.
low center of gravity.
Here we go.
Okay, probably not.
Hey, you're well over 30 years old, my friend.
30?
40. I'm sorry.
I keep
Did I say 30?
as long
Did I say? Some of us haven't hit 40 yet. So, all right, guys, we're gonna take a break. We come
Nobody
back.
holding the mic up here.
We're gonna talk NBA basketball with our good friend MK Bauer. He's had his eyes on the Red Nation and the rest of the NBA. We'll do that later on. We got K-Dub and my good friend Will McGinnis, who worked in the San Antonio market. He might even have his opinion on the Spurs.
I have a little something to say.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys stick around. We come
Richard
back.
walk in the house. Don't forget, man.
Oh, he's here. I got something for Richard later, for sure, because he was hunting Easter eggs with Obama this year. So I'm just glad he's back. We'll be right back here on Sports Rap Live.
Gas prices.
And the Cut.
That's right.
Okay. Man, appreciate it, man.